coach is Rick Stewart with AllAccessCoaching.com. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button down below so we can let you know when new content's been uploaded.
And now we're kind of going to start getting into the types of blocks that our guys are used in making on the everyday. So we use a cut and a blast block. Okay, we'll use a cut block if we have a hard supporting defender. So if our number 3 is maybe the safety and he's supporting that alley pretty hard, we can cut him. If he's within, now we have that 5-yard rule. So if he's within the 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, we'll throw a cut on him. All right, we'll get on the toes. We'll load on the toes of the defender, and we will only throw a cut block going vertically to the defender. So going from – if you go, your head should be going from end zone to end zone, whether if you're going one way or the other, you should always be going vertical through that defender. We'll use what we call a blast block. If we have a soft supporting defender, so say that safety is supporting the alley, but then he gets to a point and he starts slowing down or he wants to work outside to kind of set an edge. We can't get leverage on him. We can't get vertical through him, or he's just not supporting hard enough for us. We'll have our guys stay up. So we should always look like we're going to cut, but instead of going through that defender, throwing a cut block, we'll just simply come up through his chest and put our hands inside, leading with our face. Should always get on our toes of the defender before we make any kind of contact. We want to get on the toes, put that defender in a bind, and that way when we load and deliver our punch, we're on the toes and we're not missing. We don't give them a chance to swipe away from us. You execute the blast block with the screws of the face mask, making contact first, followed up by your hands and feet. Here, I just wanted to kind of go over some motions that we have too, just a couple easy basic ones. So the first one's going to be a pitch path. All right, so our aim and point for our pitch path, that first step should always go to the heels of the B-back, okay? That first step opens up. I need 6 inches going to the heels of the B, all right, leaving on the R and R ready. That second step should maintain that track. By the third step, that ball should be snapped, and we're going to maintain going flat through the heels of the B, only coming downhill when the quarterback attacks that C-gap area. I have 2 open parentheses here. So if we get a 2-up call, we're going to keep our flatness a little longer, hold our flatness a little longer, all right, just in case 2 does come hard and we still have a way for that quarterback to get the pitch off. If we start coming downhill too early, we'll take away the pitch angle, and that's when pitches get batted down or picked off and start going the other way for touchdowns. Tail motion is an early motion for us. If it's in the run game, the backside A will simply same aim and point to the heels of the B-back. All right, but now when the ball is snapped, he is going to insert for any fold player. If it's a pass play, if it's a play action pass play for us, same aiming point to the heels of the B. Second step, maintaining the track. Third step, the ball should be snapped. And when the ball's snapped, now we are going to attack the end of the line of scrimmage there off the tackle's hip, all right, blocking the first thread off the edge. For twirls, our twirls are still going to be to the heels of the B-back. I know some people change it up. Some people take it to the hands. Some people take it to the hip of the B-back. I like to keep everything the same. I like to just keep the consistency, and then we can always, adjust. But our guys have done pretty good of keeping everything consistent. All right, and with our twirls, it is simply a 3-step twirl. So we have open. Our open step is going to be to the heels of the B. I need 6 inches on that open step. Our hammer step is going to be the momentum slower. So as we take that open step, we should be explosive in that first step, hammering on our second step, now slowing our momentum down so we can plant pivot on our third step. All right, and we want to plant pivot back out flat, right, working back for leverage if we have to arc number 3. Now I'll bring up some game film or some practice film, some indie film, get you guys so you guys can see kind of how we operate on a daily basis or what things we try to execute. All right, so this is kind of our ND drill on our daily basis here. All right, so we're working our blast blocking technique. This is just at the point of contact here. All right, purpose of this drill is to get used to our guys exploding their hips. All right, hands fitting inside, delivering the punch. We're gonna have that hand shield. All right, applying pressure on the face of that A-back right here. All right, applying pressure on his face. And we just simply on the hit call want to see the punch and the extension of the hips. Okay, that's all I'm looking for here. Getting used to delivering the punch and extending your hips, preparing you to drive your feet with it as well. So we'll take another rep here, look at it again. Bam, that's all we want. You simply just want that violent punch. All right, hands inside, thumbs up. Okay, and extend the hips to get that explosion. Perfect. Now we're going to add the feet with it. Okay, we can progress this. You can make it a progressional thing. All right, I do like to make it a progressional thing. I'll start with just a step. I'll just have a step, bring them one step, right? So they can get used. So as he brings this feet, I'll just have him take that one step. You can see, all right, the back on the far right here, he's already got his foot in the ground. We'll just stop it right there. Okay, so I'll give a hit call. All right, the bag's on the face. I'll give a hit call, fire the hands, move, take the step. Okay, fire the hands, take the step. Perfect. We can also go straight into this. Okay. So we want to see how fast you can get those feet firing and get that piston moving. All right. So we can get the defender and clear out space. All right. Like today, we had a scrimmage today in spring practice. Corner fired on us, constricting the edge on us. We had midline triple and he constricted the edge on us. All right. So we got to be able to move that body and fire our feet. Last progression of this is now we're standing up. All right, now we're standing up. We're up. We're at the point of contact. We're on the toes of the defender here. All right, our screws are making contact first. But you can see that's why we keep the bag on the face mask. All right, and that's our notice where the screws are making contact first here, okay? Same thing. You can progressional this as well. I always like to do it with our young guys, just take the progression to it, all right? So instead of kind of going straight into the run, I just want to see the hands fire and take the step. Hands fire, take the step. And then we'll move on from that and start getting the feet churning, okay? I always like to work baby steps, crawl, walk, run. That's a big thing around here in the Citadel and how we teach things. Again, execution, staying nice and low. Never want to get high. All right, the back down here closest to the bottom of the screen does a good job of having a good flat back here. Hands are inside. He does a really good job. That was one of the guys I played with during my time here. Awesome kid, super tough. All right, now we can take them and back them up a yard off that bag. All right, now that forces us to teach that ability. We have to get our face masks to the point of contact first before we start reaching out with our hands. A lot of guys want to just reach out with their hands and they don't want to stick their face in there, especially our young guys. So this is a good way to teach them. All right, we got to get our face there first. You can see the back closest down here at the bottom does a good job of making contact with his face first. Okay, he fired his hands. Now his feet are starting to fire. And that is a perfect example of how that should be done. It's very deliberate in his movements. which I like. That means he's thinking about it. Good execution of his screws lean. Eyes are decently up. As you can see at the top, eyes are up. Okay, hands inside, thumbs up. Perfect. Now we're running our feet. Again here. Leading with the screws. Shoot the hands. Keep them inside. All right, and now we're turning our feet, digging that body out. All right, kicking them out to the sideline. Or just pushing them out, clearing the alley for us. We can use the one-man sled here as another emphasis on keeping hands inside, making contact with the screws first, and deliberate steps here. All right, learning how to bring our feet with our hands and face. This is very deliberate, very methodical. We need to emphasize this because a lot of guys will just make contact, shoot the hands, but won't move their feet. And then you don't move the body, or the blocker or that defender just sheds you off. You got to be able to move your feet, bring your feet along with it. No matter how hard you strike, if you don't move your feet, there's always a chance that that defender can still make the play. So I love the one-man sled as a good indie drill for us to just learn how to get our feet moving in synchronization with the rest of our action here. Again, working that step off. All right, now we're going to move into a cut block. And now we're moving into our cut block progression. And this is one of the first things we do every day. All right, we'll start in a 4-point stance here. And I will simply call out a shoulder. We'll be on our right shoulder, right shoulder. Okay, you can progress it down, which I like to do, and have them take the load step first. So our load step is this step right here. This first step, we want to see them hold it. Okay, so we'll load with our outside foot, and then we're always going to cut same arm, same leg. Okay, and this is simply it. Getting used to that uppercut. I want to see that uppercut, and I want to see that back foot step through along with it. It's a little different than how you run, all right? But that uppercut and that same leg coming through, all right, really keeps that defender from working over the top of us or slipping through. So again, we'll load it. All right, so the back down here at the bottom, load it with the wrong leg. Okay, we want to load with our outside leg first. So this leg should be up, this leg back. Yep, there he goes. Reset it, load it. Now we're throwing the uppercut. Throwing the uppercut nice and low, not gaining any height or elevation in our stance. So now we'll just simply flip shoulders now and do the same thing. Load it, cut. Load it and throw the uppercut. When we throw that uppercut, we want to keep our hands closed. We don't want to have an open fist. You never want to have an open fist. Or you want to throw it and throw the uppercut closed fist. If you open your hands through, you should have your palm facing your face. All right, now we're going to load, throw, and scramble through. All right, the scramble is key. If you didn't throw a great cut block, or you threw too far away, or you didn't land as clean as you wanted to, we have to scramble. And scramble, all that does is keep us over the top of that defender so he doesn't shove us down in the dirt or throw us to the side or play over the top of us. We'll scramble to stay through. Still working on leverage, keep that defender underneath us, so he doesn't have a chance of making the play over the top. Still load throw. Now we'll scramble through it. Same thing to the other side. All right, so we'll load with our outside foot. Bam, there it is. Okay, as we load, we'll cock that back arm or that near arm. All right, ready to throw the uppercut. And we'll throw the uppercut and scramble. Any guys have any questions about, some drills, the drills so far that you've seen? Please do not hesitate to ask. We'll have some different variations of it coming up. So now you can see we have the band attached to our guys now. So we have the band attached here, and that's to overemphasize the scrambling aspect of it. Okay, so we're just building some strength and making the emphasis of scrambling through. All right, we'll keep the bag applying pressure. As you can see, number 16 there, just riding that shoulder. All right, and you got to scramble all the way through that bag there. All right, with the band, just extra added resistance. Same thing, kind of concept like bench press, right? You want to get your bench press better and stronger, right? We want to be stronger as we're scrambling through, so you just add a little bit more resistance to it. Another drill I like doing with our guys is 45-degree angle. All right, so we'll start the day with all fours. All right, just simply load, practicing the load step, throwing the uppercut. Then we'll move into the scramble drill. As you can see, I don't usually have time to really get to the one with the resistant band as much as I like. That one looks like that one's awesome. It works our guys pretty hard. All right, but this drill is very, very important for us, as we'll always be, always at a 45-degree angle or an angle at some sort, right, as we're arcing out to defenders. So we'll just start out at 45. All right, we'll load step it. I like to break it down into a step. So we'll load step it still. All right, I'll have them pause there. And then we'll throw getting vertical through the bag here. All right, scrambling through our cuts. So you can see that load step should square you up. So you see this back here on the bottom, you should square up to that bag because we're only going to throw our cut. It's going north or south. All right, so we want to square up to our target and then throw our cut going vertical. So the back down here at the bottom, he kind of wants to preload the opposite hand here. All right, but the back at the top does a good job of getting power through that cut, right? Squaring it up, getting vertical through it. You can see as he comes through on the back end, he's working vertical, trying to get square back to square. So then now we'll start on the bag, right? So we'll start on the bag, and you can see him marking it off now, walking it off. All right, and then we'll simply just now, all right, take a step or two back, all right, to work that step pattern for our guys. As we're arcing out for leverage, all right, we need to have that step pattern in our head and where we need to get square out. So we'll just take a yard or two, step off a yard or two off that bag, okay? And that way now we know the foot pattern of how we need to get there. All right. And when we load, all right, we should be loading on the toes of the defender still. All right. And that way we know we can throw that cut. This is a good job here by the back down on the bottom. All right. He gets a good load step. There it is with his outside foot. All right. He's pretty close to that bag, equivalent to the toes of the defender. All right. Nice and squaring up now. You can see him working back to square. All right. And he's going to throw that cut. Awesome. That is perfect. That's textbook right there. All right. Now he's got to scramble through to ensure he doesn't get beat over the top.
Coaches, Rick Stewart with allaccesscoaching.com. I really hope this video helps make you a better coach. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button down below so we can let you know when new content becomes available, because we're all about coaches helping coaches. And remember, coach, better today, never as good as tomorrow.